What's up? This is Cronkite Satellite. I want to say what's up, Earthlings. What's up, humans? Just want to give you a big shout out that I love you. And I got a bunch of music out there you should check out. Just Google Cronkite Satellite, but you should check out my new single. My brand new single, Disillusioned. It's going to change your life. Big shout out to the Channa 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 podcast for letting me be on here. Woo! Now let's go save the world, people.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of my podcast. We have a very special guest today joining all the way from Singapore. We got Cronkite Satellite joining the podcast. Hi Cronkite.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. You know what I love? We started like right on time. I'm like, this guy's a musician. He's always on time.
right. Maybe that.
There's truth to that stuff, man.
Right. So how you been, Cronkite?
I've been well. I had a baby boy, my first son, first kid, and that's just been absolutely outstanding. I just see the world in a whole different light now. It's been a lot of a little time consuming, but it's totally worth it.
Right.
And that's like the real big news.
Right. So
working,
I have
working and twerking.
Yeah, so I have a son also. He's now 11 years old. So I've been through that journey, all that transition. Oh my God.
Because like he just turned 3 months and like it feels like 10 years. And and everyone's like, oh, the first year goes so quick. I'm like, no. But I mean, I'm loving every second of it. But like it's been an adventure, that's for sure.
Right.
It's wonderful. Changed me in a good way.
Yeah. So I think the first time I got to know you, heard the name Cronkite Satellite is this Teague Bays and Alif Putra was doing an interview on Facebook, and you and they were talking to you, and you did some live performance also,
Yeah.
which really I really got, because you did like a Beastie Boys cover of Sabotage, I think, during that, right?
I don't know if it was that time that I did that, but I do have like a live looping video where I do that.
Right.
Like, yeah,
Right.
that one
So
gets a
that's
lot of play. I'm happy about that one.
That's how I got to know you. And so Cronkite, can you tell me a little bit about like where you from the US, and your little bit about your childhood and how do you got into music?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you for asking that. I was born in Minneapolis, like Twin Cities, St. Paul, Minneapolis, in Minnesota. Very very proud of that. I love where I'm from. And just it's such a musical town. Like I never realized how big Bob Dylan or Prince were until I like left America, because like they're just like local bands where I'm from. I'm like, oh yeah, they're awesome. Yeah. You're at a bar and you see like Tommy Stinson from the Replacements, and like, okay, there's that guy, and then you realize he's now the bass player for Guns N' Roses. You're like, oh,
Right.
that's a thing. So I feel pretty lucky, like always going to shows growing up, like at First Avenue, because you get free comp tickets, like Prince's old nightclub that's in like Purple Rain. And again, that like eluded me. I'm just like, oh, it's just I could just take the bus and go down there and have my free comp tickets, check out some random band. Like my buddy got a free ticket to go see Radiohead one time, actually, before they really broke big. So it was a good spot. And then I also grew up during the 90s. So like that was a time where like anything goes with music. It wasn't like so like category like right now it's like, oh, you like this style, you like this style. In the 90s it's like, no, it's all music. You got some EDM, you got some rap, you got some rock, you got some country twang, but it's all part of like a larger umbrella of just stuff that makes you feel good. And I think all of those things all kind of roll together. Also, growing up in Minnesota, you got snow, so it's like you got a couple months where you gotta like stay inside and you gotta be creative and you gotta figure out stuff to do. Like I used to always draw, used to always just make music, like bang on stuff. So it all kind of swirled together into this toxic storm of what you see before you.
Right. So what really sort of i- influence you to like you wanted to make your own music? What sparked that?
Huh. I I'm not sure. I like to think like right now, like when I make music, like a lot of the music I make is because I'm not hearing what I want to hear that's like being like on Spotify or YouTube or Tidal or whatever. I'm not really hearing what's like engaging me. So I kind of like create it. That's why like every song I make is like something totally different, which is like self-sabotage for a music career, but whatever. I'm doing fine. But um I just think it's like that art bug where you just want to just create and make and then see how you can like get a little better and then just move on to the next thing and just what I learned this, I created this, now I'm going to try to do it again with something different and just keep building upon it and building upon it. um yeah, I think that's it. I don't That's a really good question. I don't know why. It might be because when I once because I was writing my own songs even before like I'd be doing shows. Because like in St. Paul, Minneapolis, Twin Cities, you don't play covers. You have to play original music. You might do like one
Right.
cover, but like Singapore, like when I was living in Qatar, or like when I was living in China, it's all covers. Like that's all they want to hear. But where I
Right.
grew up, it's like, nah, dude, you gotta write your own songs. Sorry, dude, this ain't a hotel.
Right.
So I don't know if I even answered that question. I don't know. I just got the need, man. Just
Right.
gotta express myself.
Right. So, Cronkite, what were you like sort of artists that you were inspired by or influenced by?
Yeah. Growing up, like because again, being from like the '90s, like I really think like '91 was a very pivotal year for me as a musician, or as just someone just growing up and just listening to the radio because there was so much different kinds of music. So I think that had a lot to do with it, just all these different like genres and stuff. But like Cypress Hill, Red Hot Chili Peppers are definitely like two in particular that I can kind of be like when I got the tape,
Right.
and I'm like, yeah, and I'd play it all the time. Especially that Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Like that was like I could sing that entire album. That is like a cornerstone of my existence. But also like growing up, I remember when I'd be going to like daycares and stuff. My parents are both working, and there'd be like mainly girls at the daycare, so they'd always be bumping like Cyndi Lauper on MTV. And like,
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie, man, I do love me some Cyndi Lauper, and I think it's because of like growing up, they'd always bump that She's So Unusual tape
Right.
all the time, and like time after time, like that's like you can't deny. So I think there's a little Cyndi Lauper in me as well, but like, and also that was that around when like yeah, EDM was just kind of like picking up right around then. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Like the whole like Detroit kind of scene. I don't
Mm.
know, but like all of it, man. Even stuff I don't like influences me because I know what not to do.
Right. Right. So, how did you like? Because oh, if I describe you, I would just say like you're like king of loops, like because
I
you're
appreciate that.
yeah. So because you're live looping and it's so amazing how you do it. I saw your video that you did step by step. You show how you're doing the song, but how did you get into that sort of looping and that sort of drum machines and stuff? So how did
Yeah.
that happen?
Well, like with the live looping, that all basically started because I've been in a bunch of bands, and event like the final one, it broke up, as bands do, and nothing like bad or anything. But then I was just like, man, we spent all this time writing all this new music. Like it happened with all the other bands too. We write an album or two albums, all of a sudden, like, oh, we're broken up. And I'm like, well, now I got to start over again. So I
Mm.
decided, like, let's. The first thing I wanted to do, I bought an acoustic guitar, and I really like Blind Melon. Like, I love Blind Melon. Like,
Right.
it's bad. I love him. It's bad in a good way. And so my goal was, all right. I'm just going to buy an acoustic guitar and be a Blind Melon solo cover act and just play only Blind Melon songs. And then like I went to like Guitar Center or whatever, and they had like a loop pedal, and I know in college, like people introduced me to, like Keller Williams. He's really good. It's
Mm.
not really like my choice of music or anything like that, but he is like, again, can't deny his influence. It's undeniable.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'll check it out, and I bought the RC50. And when I brought it home, I wasn't really impressed. I was like, I can just return it. But then like I just started just like jamming out on it for like a week straight and then I started doing shows and I'm like, okay, I got a thing
Right.
going on here. I can I can write my own songs, I can perform them live, and then I left America and I moved overseas. I moved to Qatar, and I was like, well, this is good. Then like I don't have to worry about having a band now. And then
Right.
like when it's only me, I don't got to worry about someone being late for practice or the band breaking up. So we're always on time. So there's that. So it just kind of just fell into place.
Mm.
Um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but you, even though you're a one person, one man band, but you really sounds like a full band when you play, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, because I'll have like I try to keep it simple. Um, I know I could have like a laptop with Ableton running, and I could like, but like I like my current setup that I have for looping is really like just an RC202, just two looper buttons and an undo function, a drum pad, and a microphone. That's it. And I know I could have more. I used to like plug a mixer into the looper and then have a bunch of instruments plugged into that. But like
Right.
especially like I don't have a car in Singapore, so I take like public transit, and you don't want to like carry, you gotta you gotta be able to carry what you have.
Right.
You
Right.
can't go on the bus, and be like, hold on, bus, I gotta go back and pick up the rest of my stuff. Um, so that really had a lot to do with it. But I really like to keep it simple, and I feel that limitations actually, for myself, like make me a little more creative. And and you're like kind of like naked in front of the crowd. Like you're like if you
Mm.
make a mistake, like you can't just like rely on your laptop to like quantize it. I can't say the word. Like just fix it instantly. Like you got to like do it in the mix on your own.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, Cronkite, when you write songs, like, what's the process like? Do you have like ideas for the lyrics first, or you come up with a beat first? How does it work?
It's different for like every song. Like when I started, all the songs had to be done like made on the loop pedal, and I had to be able to replicate them perfectly live. And then as time went by, I realized I'm restricting myself. Why can't I just make whatever music I want to make and not work? Because like eventually I'm gonna be dead, and like the songs are gonna live on. So
Right.
I'll be like, why can't I just make the song I want and not worry about if I can perform it live or not? So then I started going like writing the songs first and then figuring out how to loop them later. Um, and then like right, usually it's tough because like most of my songs do like it's very beat driven. Like
Mm.
it's you'd be hard pressed to find a song that doesn't have like a drum beat, which I've noticed, and I'm trying to like correct. But I'm also like when I do a show, I want people to dance, I want to move. So I guess the beat is very important. Find a couple chords. Like sometimes songs are just made in like one sitting. Like the song that just came out on Sunday, the 6th. That one I wrote and recorded and like mixed it and everything. Little mixing afterwards, but pretty much in like 2 or 3 days. And it's like
Right.
one of the best songs I feel like I've ever made. It's called Disillusioned. You should check it out.
Yeah, we
And
should talk. We should talk about that song. But I want to ask you. So, growing up in Minnesota and then going, all the way to Asia, and then what was your impressions when you came to Asia, especially like personally? And then what about how do you like this? Like, what's your idea about the music in Asia? How people react to that? So,
well, um when I first moved to Qatar and I was like right away I did a show. And I doing my looping, and I realized really quickly that people didn't want to hear originals, especially when
Right.
like drinks are like $15 for a beer. The people aren't going to be like, yeah, can you just play Hotel California so I can like remember a time when beer wasn't $15? You know,
Right.
nothing against Hotel California. Like when I was in China, that was like that one went over real well. Like there's no hatred on that. But I really had to learn quickly because I'd be playing a bunch of like the expat bars, and as the night went on, and you're like the main music act, people got rowdy if you weren't playing covers. Um, I had one girl one time just come up and just grab the mic, and she's like, you know, room full of people, like just packed. She just grabs it away from me. She's like, "Is this the real life?" And then the whole crowd, "Is this just bad?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna take a 7 minute break." And I just like left, and they did a whole acapella of that song, and I was a little hurt, but at the same time, you got to learn from these things. And then I'm like, okay, start doing some covers. That's what it's like overseas. Um, and the same thing happened when I went to over to China. Um, I learned probably in my mind one of the most famous Chinese songs. The moon represents my heart. Yelling dai biao de xin. Ni wen wa ai ni you dua shen. If you've never heard it, by Teresa Tang, um, it's haunting. It's hauntingly beautiful. And that was always a crowd pleaser, especially when like all my songs are in English. Because I wasn't like in Beijing or Shanghai. I was up in Dalian, where it's like English was minimum, so you had to
Right.
learn Chinese. And then once I moved here, Singapore is a lot like Qatar in the sense where it's like you're spending $15 for a beer. So I would like to continue to feel comfortable. Please don't play the new song off of your new album that I won't listen to Strange Man on stage.
Right.
Please play Ain't No Sunshine. Thank you. So that's kind of been my impression. It's more about it's less about the art, more about the your job on stage is to play stuff I know. Not I mean it's that's not like the rule, but it is definitely like an overarching theme I've noticed, which is fine. I mean, they're paying customers. I
Right.
want a happy
Right.
crowd. If they want Wonderwall, I'm playing Wonderwall. I ain't above it.
Right. I last year I actually wrote an article. This is about one man bands on black metal, because in black
Oh,
metal there's a lot of bands who guys who does this sort of one man thing where they create the whole albums, and so
yeah.
I featured like a couple of bands from this region, because there's a couple of bands in the Philippines and all this. So I
Philippines has
have
a super good music scene. That place has
right.
got a real music scene. All right, sorry.
Yeah.
Carry on. Carry on.
I have this sort of this thing about the one man bands. It's so fascinating how one person does all these things. Like, and some of these artists, they don't care about whether even people listen to their music. They just do it.
That's kind of where I'm at too, because like it's hard to advertise. Like I got buddies right now that had an album that just got released a little bit ago, Girls Like Mystery, and like there's like 5 people in the band, so like they can share it like because there's so many different people in the band.
Right.
But I'm like the only one in my band. I'm like I can't share at this frequency, and I tip my hat at them for their advertising. But like I can't do it that
Right.
with that amount of with that regiment. But I think what happens is now that we don't need a studio anymore, and you can like create a beat and even like garage band on the piano roll,
Yeah.
and then like something as simple as that, and you can pretty much like the one man band is much more attainable nowadays, since you don't need a record label, you don't need a big studio, all you need is passion and time.
Right. So because of how easy it is to put a music up in like in Spotify or Apple Music, it's like, but the problem I see is that there's so many music now, like it's so hard to get the attention of the like people, right? So because
Yeah.
there's so many out
Well,
there.
It's a good thing and it's a bad thing, and I think ultimately at the end of the day the scale shifts towards it's a good thing. It's never a bad thing when there's more music than you can listen to. Um, but I mean, it was remember MySpace,
Yeah.
same thing. Like you put your stuff up there, and like how are people gonna find your stuff when there's like a million other bands releasing stuff on MySpace too? Um, and it's kind of basically the same thing, just on a larger scale with like the streaming services, which is fine. um I'm not hating. I get checks from time to time,
Yeah.
so I'm like, that's cool, thanks, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll buy a
I,
hamburger.
yeah, I heard that the guy who actually did Napster, the I think his name was Sean.
Yeah,
I He's actually part of Spotify. He was part of Spotify as well, right? When
he was
Spotify
part of
started.
Facebook. I think he's the one that
He,
said drop the and just call it Facebook.
right, right,
I think I could be wrong. I'm not a scholar.
right. So Cronkite, talking about your music, actually, what I was doing last couple of days, I've been listening. While I was like walking outside, I've been listening to your songs. I put
Oh,
your songs in my playlist, so I've been listening to some of them.
thanks, man.
So, one of your most popular songs is this "Let's Start Over,"
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
I kind of I really love it because this reminds me one song from Chris Isaac, the Wicked game, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good track. I'll take that. Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about this song? When
I
was it
can.
written, and what's the story idea behind the song?
Yeah. So, it's I'm really proud of that song and how it all came together. And I've definitely noticed that a lot of my slower songs seem to be the ones that really pick up more.
Mm,
Because I always want to have like my really like dancey, faster songs to really pick up. But it seems to be the slower ones. And that one in particular is just a nice chill little ride, something that you can just like put your arm out the window and just do one of these, like, yeah, when you're driving. um so it's got like that kind of like backwards guitar little solo thing in it. A lot like that solo, I wasn't actually, oddly enough, I wasn't able to capture it perfectly a second time, because I'll like record like a dummy track when I make
mm,
something, and then I'll add, and then like do like a better recording with like a better mic and stuff to make it sound better. But I could never capture that like that. So that's actually from like the scratch track from like with a crummy little microphone and just kind of just tooling around,
right.
and it sounds so good. And it's got some piano in it. I really wanted to try something different. I really wanted to go like a different route, and I feel I was able to capture that with that song. And I like the idea is, if we all grow. If you're the same person you were 10 years ago, then you're doing something wrong. Like
Yeah.
we all evolve, we all adapt, we all learn from our mistakes. And that song is about, like, it could be about multiple things, but I don't like saying like what my interpretation is of songs, because I feel it like restricts other people's, like, what how they could react to it.
Yeah.
So just know that this is like one of multiple parallel universes of what this song could be about. But for me, it's like you had a falling out with someone years ago, and then you're at an airport or something, and you like cross paths again. You're like, whoa, whoa, hey, hey, and you're both a little older, a little wiser, kind of calm down, and you kind of just like what is it? It's fine. Take your time. More hellos and less goodbyes. Right off into the sunrise. Um, Tiptoe past the shadow. Shh, keep it on the down low. Like tiptoe. Like that's talking about like, don't. Let's not focus on that old stuff. Let's let those sleeping dogs lie. Let's turn this corner nice and slow. Close my eyes and surrender control, and just see where it takes us, and just not so much like let's pick up where we left off type situation, but it's more of like a, it's good seeing you again,
Mm, right.
and enjoy the rest of your life. You know what I mean? It's odd. I still haven't really figured out. It's more like it's like a feeling more than how I can like express like what it means, which is again why I'm very proud of how that song turned out, because I do feel I was able to capture that feeling, even though I can't really articulate its like
Right.
meaning.
Maybe people who's listening to that also probably sort of feeling the same sort of, right, because as I said, as soon as I listen to it, it brings me to that particular song of Chris Isaac, which is like in the 90s. I think it was like late 90s. So
Yeah.
it's because you kind of captured that 90s vibe there in
Oh,
that
I'm trapped in the 90s, dude. I am 100% trapped in the 90s. I will never deny that. Nail on the head there, bud.
right. uh, I think the song that really got me like interested of you is the collaboration you did with Teague Bass. The song "Saint We Ain't," right?
Woo!
It was like a badass
Oh,
like
so
anthem.
good. Dude, so like I just want to tell you the quick story about that, because I've been wanting to do like Teague's my boy. Shout out to Teague Bass. You're the king, man. He just sends me a message because he used to live in Minneapolis as well
Right.
during the '80s. He was like with the Prince crew with Alexander O'Neill, I believe. He was like his bass player, and so like we kind of like we bonded over that. We're from the same place, and then we're like watching the news and like all the like the George Floyd stuff. Oy, that was, oy. And then so then we started bonding over that again. Like, dude, our town's on fire, you know.
Right.
And then like what's going on? And then we started. He's like, yo, man, let's just make a track. Send me a drum beat. So I sent him a drum beat, and he's like, yo, I need some words on this. I can't just make a drum beat, or I can't just make a bass line without a drum beat, or without some words. So then I just make up like a little like cheesy flow. One of these days, we'll dig out the back and forth. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's good. And he sends me back a bass track, and then like I start slowly piecing it together. It was a little more bluesy at first,
Mm.
and then I took a break, and he's like, yo, man, like a month or two passes, and he's like, where's that track? I'm like, oh, I kind of forgot about it. And when I went back to it with a whole new like perspective on everything, and like I didn't have like the frame of mind I was in before, kind of thing, and I just re-edited everything, chopped up his bass into like little sections, and like sequenced it a little differently, and then did the guitar differently, and it became a completely different song. And I remember sending it to him, and he's like, "This is fire, man!" And yeah, that one just like really came together like really well. Um, like it sound, because I do all like the mixing and the mastering and the production, and that's
Right.
something I just constantly try to get better at too. And I really think I like hit the nail on the head with that one. Hopefully, I think so. I'm
Yeah,
really
because
happy.
that you can really use that song maybe like a WWE entrance for a wrestler. That will be a
Standing
great
up the
song.
shoulder with giants, I'm dropping signs of defiance. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Like yeah, because Teague's like, dude, I hear this in like a Hollywood soundtrack for like the next X-Men movie. It's like, because it's got that build, that like really like
Right.
uncomfortable, because it's all, I mean, and it feels good to know that it actually has like, it's talking about like real things. It's not just like love, whisper in your ear, love. Like it's actually like talking about stuff. Anyway,
Right.
again, I don't want to like tell people what songs are about, because I want them to make those
Yeah.
decisions. But
Right.
it's you know what I'm saying. You smell what I'm stepping in.
Yeah. I
I'm really
mean,
proud of that track.
I really appreciate that musicians actually taking a stand and actually doing something, talking about this stuff that
Well,
happens.
it helps me too, um, because I don't have the answers, and I think it opens up a dialogue. I think
Hmm.
um, it helps me, maybe it helps other people who need to I don't know, man. I have a need, I have a fire burning inside, man, and sometimes these words just come out. And I'm like, this is what we're doing. This is where we're
Right.
going. Here we go. Like
Right.
brother Ali, he's a rapper from Minneapolis, and he's like whatever comes up comes out. We don't put our hands over our mouth. And I always think about that. I'm like, you're right.
Right.
Brother
Right.
Ali's right.
But are you sometimes surprised, like the ideas and the words that you come up with for
Huh.
these songs?
Yeah, I really am. I I am. I'm very surprised. God, it sounds so bad saying it. I don't it's toot my own horn. I'm pretty good.
Right.
And I don't want, I'm sorry. It sounds so cheesy saying it, but like, and I don't like saying it and I feel very uncomfortable saying it out loud, but like when like, I feel that my words are like poetry. I work really hard on those lyrics. Like I don't freestyle. I'll freestyle sometimes, but I don't like it. I don't like it at
Mm.
all. I want to actually like sit down and like craft my stanzas so every word is well placed. You know, like there's certain words I don't want to use. Like I don't like using the word weird, and I try not to use like everybody or everything all the times. I try not to swear because I'm like,
Mm.
dude, I could actually use a real word here. Unless like I
Right.
want to swear, I'll swear. You know what I mean? Because sometimes only certain words can express how you feel. But professionally, I feel as an artist, I like this new song, Disillusioned, is not even 20 words. Not even 20 words. And it just says like everything I feel about being an artist, about the whole idea of like what am I trying to prove? Like
Mm.
why am I making music? Am I am I looking for success? What is success? I feel pretty good with how I am. Like am I like why do I create? Why does anyone create? Why does anyone do anything? And are we just stuck in this flux between creation and destruction? And just in like less than 20 words, I'm like, yeah, this song gets it. This song figured it
Right.
all out for me. Thank you. I retire.
So what I've been going through your YouTube channel. Oh my god, you have so many content on your YouTube channel, right?
I know. I'm my biggest fan. All 14 of those views are me.
So you do most of the music videos. Also, you do all the
I do
graphics
all of
and
them.
stuff. All
Yeah,
of them, right?
all of them. Yeah, like for 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 the most part, I find music videos to be pretty stupid, just in general. Like most of
Mm.
the time, like don't get me wrong. There's like exceptions that are like there's a new Chemical Brothers one that's pretty artsy, and like there's this band they're don't like there's a musician called Kenna from a while back was a song called Hellbent, which is like an
Mm.
outstanding video. Like so there are amazing videos, but for the most part, they're just like product placement. Like, look at my watch, look at my car. I'm getting paid to have these in here, you
Right.
know. So when I make my videos, I want them to be like the opposite of shiny. I want them to be like crusty and distorted, uncomfortable. Um, I don't. They're more like visualizers, if you will.
Mm.
Like I try to make them weird. Um, that's kind of where I go. Sometimes I get a good idea. I'm pretty happy with the video for Disillusioned, which is like supposed to be. I made the video and the song before my son was born, but it's pretty much him in 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 my wife's womb, but he's floating through the universe, having philosophical conversations with himself, as we would be outside of the womb. Like, is this all there is? Like, Earth is our womb, and we're like, is this all there is? Like, why are we here? Like, is this all an illusion? Is death really exist? You know, and then at the end, he's going towards the light. You know, and it's like I'm really happy with how that video turned out, and it's like the I'm sure if I have more time and a budget, like pretty much everything I do is on a budget of zero. Like
Right.
quite literally. Like the only thing I usually pay for is my copyright. You know what I mean? Everything else is just it's just time. But that video, you know, I animated it. and it's not like, whoa, you're gonna get a call from Pixar. No, it's fine. It's good enough. It gets my point across, and it's my
Right.
boy floating through space. Makes me happy.
Yeah. So, Cronkite, you also released, I think the song before that was Down in Heaven.
I don't want to ruin your Friday
Yeah.
night, but I might say something you don't like. Then we fight. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know that you released that song and you had a specific sort of a special message on that song, right?
Yeah. Well, like pretty much like all my songs, they have there's layers. There's layers like an onion. Like it's one of those songs where you don't really know what it is that you're talking about until it's all put together. But that one's definitely with the idea of you just can't say anything right. Like everyone is just going to destroy you. But like to be honest, it's actually up to the person who hears what someone is saying to you. Like those words carry no weight. When they say sticks and stones can't break my
Right,
bones, some words can't.
right.
Like basically, the idea is like you allow yourself to let those words have weight on them. I'm not saying like everything. There's some legitimate horrible people out there saying some horrible things. Don't get me wrong.
Mm.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so because I've been like I was quite active. I mean, I'm active in social media a lot, but I've been trying not to speak about stuff and I just post stuff about music and stuff. So I'm trying to like keep.
Yeah, well, what do they say? Like, I changed my profile picture. Am I changing the world yet? You know,
Right,
like it is odd that we do live in this time where we can say anything we want, but yet we do hesitate, as you were just saying. You're like, oh, because sometimes you don't want to get in a battle with someone just because you on your own page decided to say something that you feel and which you're
right.
entitled to. But it is also pretty fantastic that we do everybody. Actually, you know what? Only like 40% of the world has internet, right? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so 40% of the world has the ability to get their message across if anyone wants to listen, that is. Um, so, so there's that push and pull for the whole thing. Um, but I'm like a huge news junkie, but I like huge news junkie. But just in these past couple weeks, I just can't do it anymore because I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing.
Right.
If it bleeds, it leads, baby. And they want to sell that advertising, and they want to be like, the world is gonna end. We'll tell you more about it after this commercial break. Buy this and be happy. Back to your show. You're all gonna die. Now back to our sponsor. Buy some beer and be happy. Yeah. Back to the news. You're all gonna die.
Yeah, actually,
I'm sorry.
there's a South Park. There's a season of South Park that they were talking about that. That back in the day there were a lot of pop-ups coming up when you go to the websites, right? You
Yeah.
get
Oh yeah.
so they created pop-up blockers, right? And then what they were saying in the South Park was that the pop-ups that you block now, those are becoming news articles because they're actually pumping that into the news articles.
Shoot. Okay, like I keep forgetting we're like recording. I just feel like I'm just like riffing with my boy right now. But like I am very concerned with YouTube commercials that come up that are like medical advice. You know what I mean? But it's a commercial, and
Right.
it's they're not a doctor. They're not, you know what I mean? They're just trying to sell you something, and they're trying to not have you click on that little button in the corner, or is it over here? Like, and they're trying to like sell you some sort of miracle cure. Like, like I know people who have fallen into that trap of those
Mm,
online diets and got really sick, like really sick.
right.
And I mean, like, there's consequences to this. Like, uh, this is why I write songs, man, because then I can
Right.
actually like spend the time to like form my thought properly. Um, but I know you know what I'm saying. I don't need to like finish the sentence. Like people get it. Like they're selling, having commercials that seem like it's medical advice.
Yeah.
Because I know like on like television, there's certain like rules. Like you can't flash little images like drink Coca-Cola. And like you can't do that kind of stuff. But are those laws on YouTube? On the internet? Can you just put subliminal messaging into stuff? I don't know. Now we're going down a weird like little path here. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is WWW stands for the Wild Wild West, man.
Right, right. Yeah. Because most annoying for me is that so many like life coaches, there's so many ads for like, people.
Yes. And who are like, hey, have some raw water and chill, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know these answers. But I will continue to search for them because the answers don't matter, man. It's all about them questions. The questions create
Right,
more
right.
answers, and more answers create more questions. That'll
Yeah,
eventually. That's the kind of thinking that'll get us off this planet.
right. So Concrete, what's upcoming? What's happening? So you have your song Delusion out, and then what are you
Yeah.
planning? Is there any you're working on any new songs or
Well,
any?
I already finished. Thank you for asking that question. By the way, I'm having a really good time. By the way, thank you. I'm having a really good time hanging out with you. Let's do this again. Um, I've already finished a whole new album. This is only the third track I've released off of it.
Right.
There's about 9 more songs to go because I just had my son. I want to focus on that, like the family first kind of thing. So during the lockdown in Singapore, pretty much like 1 year ago, um, I recorded this album and mixed it and all that stuff. And so then I'm gonna kind of coast on that. Already got like the artwork made, the music videos I have to make as I go. But pretty much that's all done, and I'm gonna release that over like the next year, year and a half, 2 years, whatever. But by doing that, I've also started making new music,
Hmm.
and I have this like already like a back catalog of other songs that I don't even know what to do with, which is like a good thing to have, because like I'm currently working on like 3 projects right now, and a lot of them is very headphone based and laptop based, uh, because like I can't like my boy's sleeping, I can't just like play the guitar. So
Right.
I'll be sitting in the room when he's sleeping, checking on him and stuff with my headphones and my laptop. And one of them is like a very avant-garde album. And my goal with this is to make an album that artistically I feel pushes my boundaries of sound, going in a direction, not like just like perfecting my craft. But my goal is to have no one want to listen to it. Like that truly is like, because it's weird. It is strange. And some of the people I've sent it to, more of the art based people, are like, this is
Hmm.
fantastic. Like this is outstanding. But like the average person, they'll be like, where's the hook? Where's the beat? Like
Right.
what's going on here? Like nothing repeats. Everything is something new. So there's that project. Then I've kind of already started like another album without trying to. Um, and then which I'm very happy with, because nothing is being forced. Do you know what I mean? Like I gotta make a new single. No, I don't care about that. Not worried
Right.
about that whatsoever. I don't have a record label. I have no timeline.
Right.
But so whatever's coming up is coming up naturally and sincerely and genuinely. So it's feels more calm. I'm very happy about it. And then recently I started making these like EDM, like kind of like club tracks, like the stuff you'd hear in a club, not so much like on the radio that like Kelvin Harris would remix or anything like that, more of like in the club. And I'm like really, really proud of how it's turning out, because I've always like dabbled in making this kind of music, but this is like the first time where I was walking my son, he's in the stroller, and we'll listen to music when we're doing it, we're rocking out together, walking and rocking, and like I just saw the matrix. I saw how all of it was placed on the grid, and I was like,
Right.
okay. And I just went home and I made 6. When you hear a song, like it builds, right? It's not everything at once the whole way through. So the song will build, and there'll be like that one part where everything's there, especially in like electronic music,
Hmm.
and it's like and then it constantly builds, building up, tearing down, build in any song, in any type of music. So I just built the like six of the part where all the instruments are going, and then I'll just start constructing it, building it up, tearing it down from there, and then adding in little swooshes and echoes and stuff. Um, so that's what I've been working on. I stayed up all night last night. I didn't go to bed till like 7 a.m. Like I like literally just woke up a little bit ago. I'm wearing my pajamas. I just put this shirt on to look like, oh man, I'm gonna look professional.
Right. So with the lockdowns and stuff, are you looking forward to performing live again?
I am very much looking forward to performing live. But but um, this is a small island here in Singapore, and there's a lot of really good bands and a lot of really good Singaporean bands. So I'm gonna hit the brakes, and I want to make sure that the Singaporeans get on stage first before I'm like me first. I want to play because I want to play, but like
Right.
I'm a guest. You know what I mean? So like I'll go to the back of the buffet line with my plate, and I'll wait till everybody else gets served, and then I'll start going back on stage. Um, but there's a actually pretty good scene here. It's pretty good. The rap scene is actually really good. It's just like really underground, but it's there's a lot happening on this island.
Right.
So many people from all over the world. So it's so like diverse. There's just so much happening and so many people just passing through. Like it's exciting. It's a good spot to be. I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah, actually, I sort of considered Singapore is like my second home because I come there every month before the pandemic.
Hey, next time you're here, man, hit me up. Like, I'd love to like hang out with you. Like, not on not on this thing, but like
Yeah, right.
in real life.
Yeah, maybe have a beer somewhere like Alchemy or somewhere like that, right?
Dude, I love Alchemy. Yes, actually, Alchemy is one of my favorite places to play because I do a super like stripped down looping show of just a guitar, a beatbox, and like a really small RC20 loop pedal, and it's actually probably like my first off, it's my favorite bar in Singapore, like without a doubt. And like, yeah. Sorry, you talk about Alchemy. That's my spot, man. Alchemy
Right.
Bistro. Be there or be square.
Yeah. So Cronkite, what's your message to people who support you, listen to your music, and also to the viewers of this podcast?
Well, like to be honest, like I am very thankful for all the people that listen to my music. Because it's weird. It's not normal. So I am very appreciative of that. And what I really like is no one tricked anybody to listen to my music. There was no big viral marketing campaign or anything like that. Like I truly feel like the like I feel like a very blessed and lucky artist in the regards that the people that do actually take the time and do listen to my music, like it just means so much to me because like they've made that decision, they've chosen to do that. There was no, oh, he's I don't know. I just feel very blessed in that regard, without a doubt. For the people watching this, thank you. It means a lot. It really does. I hope we all learned something. I learned something. I learned I talk a lot.
Right.
Um, and I'll tell you what, everyone who's listening right now, when your friend is like, "Hey, I got a new song. You should check it out." You know what? You should check it out instead of just saying scroll, 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 scroll. Don't
Right.
scroll. It's like 3 minutes, 3 minutes of your time. Even if you don't like it, at least it's like going to a little art gallery. Close your eyes, put on some headphones, just give it a second. Just give it a second. You might actually like it.
Yeah. Uh, Anybody you want to shout out to?
I'd like to give a shout out to the whole world. Um, yeah, just the whole world, man. Everything, like, hang in there, everyone. Good always triumphs over evil. Good always triumphs over evil. Love always conquers hate. Um, I, I miss my home. I miss Minnesota. I miss you, Minnesota. Um, all of you. You can all stay at my apartment. Come over here, all of you.
Right. So, Cronkite, thanks for joining. I really enjoyed this discussion.
I did too, man. Thank
I
you.
think we should do this face to face sometime in the future. We should
I would love it.
talk about. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to your new songs, and then enjoy your time with your son,
I will. Yeah.
and have great time, because I personally know how important that is and how it really changed my life having a son. So
Well,
it's you're in for a treat. You're going to
well,
enjoy that.
they say they're like there's never like a perfect time to have a kid, but like having the kid during quarantine and during this pandemic has I think is the perfect time.
Right,
It's like I get to spend extra time with him like all the time. Like it's quite fantastic. My wife and I are home.
right,
Everywhere's
right,
closed. Everything's based from home. So I really do think that, like I was saying from the beginning, I'm a musician, so I'm always on time. So this was the perfect time.
right. So thank you, Cronkite.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great day, and stay safe.
You too, bud. You too. Take care.
Thank you.